we go.
Good afternoon, racing fans. Once again, welcome in for our opening program at the 2019 Grand Circuit Meet. We will first go through your changes here on this afternoon's card. We're in the low 80s of fast track, and we'll roll through the opening day changes. The first four races are clear. Your only change at this point in time comes in this afternoon's fifth race. Scratch the one Mimi's Money. Once again, take out the one Mimi's Money scratched in race number 5. Race 6 kicks off at $10,000, guaranteed pick 4. And there are no changes in that pick 4 sequence. Races 6 through 9 are clear. And once again, good afternoon. Welcome aboard here. I am Gabe Prewitt. I am very pleased to welcome in and be joined by my good friend Dave Brower in town here for the 2019 Grand Circuit. Dave, first of all, welcome to Lexington.
Thank you very much. It's been a few years since I've been here, Gabe, but I am so happy and honored to be here this week and next week as well. We're going to have a whole lot of fun bringing out the very best that harness racing has to offer, the best horses, drivers, trainers, owners, and the best sponsors as well throughout the Grand Circuit meet here. We'll be honoring them in the winner's circle and throughout the week here. What a beautiful, beautiful weather day we have to kick off the Grand Circuit meet today. It's not too hot. That'll come a little bit later on in the week and next week, but we'll get to that a little bit later. But it's my pleasure to be joining you, and I look forward to a lot of fun and some definite great racing.
Yeah, and obviously you get to be a part now of maybe the best 3 weeks of the year at our sport day, because you guys enjoyed a great jug week, I know, last week as well.
We did. Weather-wise, it was nice too. It wasn't too hot, but the racing action in Delaware, Ohio was fantastic. We had some tremendous interview guests and storylines and everything throughout the week. The performances by the Jugette champion Warrawee U Butte and in the jug by Southwind Ozzie were super special. You know, I don't want to say they were expected to win, but they performed like champions, and we'll definitely get to see them here probably in the next 2 weeks.
No question about that. So we're going to have all the superstars here in town over the course of the next 2 weeks. Took a quick look at that Sunday draw earlier. We've got Green Shoe and just a blockbuster program there. And, of course, 3 great programs leading up into Sunday, and that begins here in just 27 minutes. We've got a 9-race card on tap here on this Thursday afternoon. And as you said, we couldn't ask for better weather here today, Dave, to kick it off. We're in the low 80s. It is just absolutely perfect. You said it. It is going to warm up. We'll probably hit the 90s for the next 3 programs, but to start with, this is great.
This is great. The track looks fast. I tweeted out a couple of pictures earlier on. The Coons have it ready to go, and it couldn't be better ideal conditions, especially for you and I. We've got some of our usual things here, you know, the old Send It In hat, because you are the commandant of the Send It In Army. For everybody out there, we've got our usual ration of Swedish fish here. Thank you, Olivia from Delaware, Ohio. Lots to talk about, too, today. 3 divisions of the Bluegrass for the 2-year-old trotting colts. No real cool Sam today, so if we get a chance to catch up with trainer Jim Campbell at some point during the day, we'll get a little explanation. I expect we'll see him next week. Looking forward to that. We're going to have some chit-chats with George Siegel, of course, of the Brittany Farms, a little bit later on, as well as David Reed, sales manager of the Lexington Selected Sale, coming up next week. We'll have some winner's circle reactions after those Bluegrass divisions as well, and most importantly, you and I will be on social media throughout the day. I'm going to have the computer, the laptop fired up just like I did in Delaware, Ohio. You'll be on Twitter up in the announcer's booth all day, so if you've got a question, you want to tell us who you like or give us a good Red Mile story, we would love to hear it. And you made an appearance on Backstretch with Gordon this morning on harnessracing.com. Tell us about that.
I did actually get to check that out. Backstretch with Gordon, always one of our favorite things about the Grand Circuit action, because we get to follow some of the happenings in the mornings. A lot of the breaking stories come out of that very column. Our friend Gordon Waterstone, who I am sure we'll have on as a special guest at some point, probably often here over the course of 2 weeks. We can check it out at harnessracing.com. And yes, we got a little play there with Colton Saturdays. He seems to be a bit overmatched, but he's got some publicity out of it anyway.
Well, it'll get you excited to announce the race, no doubt about that. We're talking about Quizzer after his performance up in Delaware, Ohio. Hall of Famer Gordon Waterstone, of course, harnessracing.com. They've got an excellent Lexington preview that hit the wire earlier today, so we encourage you to tune in for that. Of course, Harness Racing Update will be on hand throughout the 2 weeks here and before the sale. Lots of different ways you can get your information, and let's not leave out Derek Givner, editor of DRF Harness. I think his newsletter will hit the Twitter tonight.
Yeah, no question. It's we got great coverage, and you want to check out all those outlets. They all bring something different to the table. They all bring behind the scenes some great interviews and information that you just don't see in the program. and we get to learn quite a bit from all of those resources in the sport of harness racing. Well, you said it, Dave, you're going to have special guests on over the course of this afternoon and the 2 weeks. You'll have some winner circle reaction and, of course, all that social media interaction. We're looking forward to that as well, as per usual. And as you said, you'll have the computer fired up. We'll have the ADWs fired up here as well, because we've got that $10,000 guaranteed pick for each and every day of the Grand Circuit meet. Of course, the 9-race card that kicks off with this afternoon's 6th race. And without further ado, let's dive right into the handicapping action. We're just 24 minutes from kicking it off here on the Grand Circuit season, Dave Brown. We start things off with the Billings Amateur Driving event. And you got a great look at some of these horses last week at Delaware, Dave. In fact, the 2 favorites, the 4 Anuk Chuck Chuck and the 7 United B. How'd you separate those two?
I went for probably what I hope will be the bigger price in a spot like that. Anuk Chuck Chuck, thankfully we said that right. I know Roger Houston had trouble with that last week in Delaware, but he not only won once, he won twice during Little Brown Jug Week. He raced on Sunday and then right back on Thursday. So that's not an easy thing to do. And I'll tell you what, the win on Thursday was just a monster effort. Very, very difficult trip there. Kiara Morgan, she's 20 years old. She is trainer Virgil Morgan Jr.'s daughter, will do the driving. Her stats, of course, so far during her amateur driving career speak for themselves. 12 wins from 34 starts. So with that little extra rest, I think Anuk Chuck Chuck will be the horse to beat. But I went for United B. Good tightener up at Dayton for Alicia Binkley. I think she's one of the more talented amateur drivers, not even because she's female. She's just talented. She knows how to get one out of the gate, and I think she'll be the one to beat in there, or the one to fear at a decent price.
Yeah, she came up just short, too. Anuk Chuck Chuck there at Delaware, but did put in a great effort and had a nice tightener, as you said, at Dayton. And Alicia, of course, she's hit the board in nearly half of her starts, 14 of 29. So as you mentioned, they're very successful. And I'm actually going to toss in our top amateur pilot at the pump, Dave Brower. That's Dean Spriggs. He's got the 1 security guard. He's hit the board in 15 of 26, been competing mainly in these Billings amateur events. Dean does a very nice job in the bike. So I think this horse may race better stepping up to the big track today.
Well, the inside post, I think, will help. The 5-year-old had the rail last time up at Delaware, kind of just towed along. You know, I didn't think he was really gaining much later, any kind of serious threat. But anytime you have the rail, all you got to do is follow and then see if you can kick home on the bigger track.
Okay, and that's a look at the first race. You get to see a Billings amateur event here to kick off opening day of the Grand Circuit season. On to the second race. It's a late closing event for 2-year-old trotting fillies. It kicks off that 50-cent pick 5, and Dave Brower, that pick 5 here with an ultra-low 15% takeout. Of course, if no one has the pick 5, it will always carry over to the following racing program. So we start fresh here this afternoon, and we are both buying a bit of a wild card here, Dave, because it's a 7 Impressive Fashion, a Jim Campbell trainee. This was a big-ticket yearling, $160,000 daughter of Father Patrick. Well, her lines looked a bit erratic of late, but that qualifier, when she added hobbles, how impressive was that? She held off a pretty nice colt there in Sermon.
I wish I had seen that qualifier in person. Maybe we'll have to check in with our buddy Nick Salvi. We know he was here for that morning. But listen, it's been a great season for trainer Jim Campbell and, of course, Jules Siegel of the Fashion Farms there. Real cool, Sam Millie's possession. This filly by Father Patrick, maybe a little late to the party. Sometimes it takes a while for these young horses to come to their speed. Dave Miller, Hall of Famer as well, is going to get the re-ride on her. And the qualifier simply stands out, sprinting home in 28 and change, 155 and 2. There's a few others in here that are a little maybe talent challenged and trying to stay on stride. So race 2 is going to be a guess, I guess is the best way to say
it.
it.
The good thing about a horse like Impressive Fashion, I'm sure you probably agree with this, it looks to be an all or nothing horse. If you're attacking race 2, you may want to play Impressive Fashion on top or just throw her completely out because at least I'm sure in our opinion, she's probably either going to win or break.
Well, the most important thing that we need to do, and the fans out there who are doing the betting, we're going to be doing a little chit-chat most of the day, hopefully, while they're out on the track and scoring down. So we'll get a little video of them after the post-parade, hopefully, and then we'll kind of tell you what we think we see, and that's the most important thing with these young trotters.
Yes, and we are looking forward to that banter back and forth each and every day as we'll be taking a look at some of those horses on the track. Now, it is a bit more exciting for you underneath this top selection Impressive Fashion. I chalked out, went straight to Heaven, who I thought had been roughed up last couple of starts. I thought maybe she can land a smoother type journey here this afternoon and be close, but that's not going to provide us much value. I know you like a long shot underneath.
Well, maybe Becky Kronos. You know, like I said, not all of these fillies and colts of the 2-year-old variety, the freshman variety, come right to their speed. Some, you know, maybe have a few issues training down. Sometimes you get a little bit sick, you have allergies. Team Orange Crush, they have developed a lot of really talented young horses here. So Becky Kronos is going to be my choice for second. I went 7-5-1-2. That was a pretty impressive move over at Pocono in that maiden non-winners of one race. So maybe the light bulb has gone on.
Okay, we'll take a look and see how it plays out there in race 2. Dave and I agree with our top selection there to kick off this afternoon's 50-cent pick 5. On to the third race. It's another late closing event. We'll switch to the pace this time for the freshman fillies, $12,500 the purse. I thought this, Dave, was a wide open affair. Really nothing here jumped off the page.
Yeah, and that's why we have completely different selections here, which is always a good thing because we can debate about it both now and later. I went for a filly by Captain Treacherous here. You're going to hear us say that name quite a few times over the next few weeks. One more for the road, and that's kind of our motto, you and me together. But Yannick Gingras is going to hop aboard this filly. He did baby race her back in June at the Meadowlands. She got a little bit tired then, but it's taken her a little while to come around. I think the switch back to Yannick off a very good debut effort, finishing second last week here at Lexington is going to make a big, big difference here. I like the inside post. I like the speed, whereas you're going to the outside.
Yes, and that was a good debut. I do agree with you there. That was a 3-year-old that defeated her 6-day wars, who got very sharp at the end of her early meet here. In fact, he followed that win up with another win later in closing day of the meet. So one more for the road. I do give her a puncher's chance in that field, but I'm also going to swing with a major long shot in the third race. 6 Fuss and Feather. Talk about the light bulb going off, Dave. How about that last start at Harris filly? Down the road from post 8, 55 and change, 16-1 upset. I think this daughter of Captain Treacherous may be heading the right way here for trainer Bruce Saunders. We get Dave Miller in the bike here this afternoon, and I think the price will be right.
Yeah, it's good to see those connections here in Grand Circuit Racing, M&L of Delaware and M&M Harness, of course. We didn't get the memo from Bruce Saunders on that one with Pat Berry last time, so you know my angle. If you don't hit the first time when they pay 15 or 16-1, it's so hard to reach back in when they're going to be a little bit lower price.
Yeah, and she obviously is going to be a bit lower than that today. And a home filly that we should mention as well is daughter of Sun Beach Somewhere, the Bethanator. She's ripped off 4 consecutive wins, likely going to be the favorite this afternoon, and you can't discount her current form.
Yeah, it's some Midwest connections there. The Megan Rogers Racing Stable send this one east to Team Orange Crush, Andy and Julie Miller. I don't argue with wins. In fact, perhaps that win at Pocono was the most impressive, coming from off the pace into what looked like it was a well-rated pace. But the fans knew it. Look at the off odds during that 3-race win streak: 1-5, 3-5, and 4-5. So maybe you'll get a little bit more than that here, but it'll be a good step up and test for class for her.
I agree 100%. We'll see if she can handle that step up here this afternoon. We've got our first stakes event of the Grand Circuit season. This afternoon's 4th race. It's sponsored by Al Livfeld Marvin Katz, 2-year-old colt and gelding trotters, one of 3 divisions here on this afternoon's card. And it looks like the outside trio here, Dave, seem to stand out at least on paper.
Yeah, well, you and I have different top selections, but you could go either way here. I went for back of the neck. Team Melander here, trainer Marcus and brother Matthias Melander here. No chance in the Wellwood final last time. Got trapped in early in the first turn of the race, never had a chance to get out, and by the time the sprinting started in the stretch, you know, the leaders were long gone. So Matthias never even really started him up, I should say. Prior to that, this is a colt that's shown a lot of ability. He's by Ready Cash, so interesting sire line there, but has gotten better and better and better, and that's what you look for, you know, with the young trotting talent at this time of year. Sometimes they peak right here over this famed, you know, red clay strip. So looking forward to a big effort from back of the neck.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be shocked to see him win it all there. And he was a good third there, as you mentioned, in the Wellwood. Had traffic trouble through the stretch there as well. I'm going to take maybe the better price of that outer trio. It's the 6 Gangster Hanover Dave. Really no chance in that Pennsylvania Sire Stakes final. He had post 8 there. He was
Terrible.
3 deep early, parked the entire way. Just draw a line through that. But other than that, his first 3 starts, other than the break in stride, obviously, I was impressed. He trotted 55 flat there with the winning efforts 2 back at the Meadows. You know, I think this colt does have plenty of talent. Oka Sponstead, typically very prominent over the course of the Grand Circuit meet at Lexington. And I think he will be the better price of that outer trio.
Will definitely be the better price, but I see some gaps between races, and that concerns me. Oka Sponstead is a master horseman, so he's never going to rush any one of these young, you know, good-bred trotters and things like that. So when I see gaps like that, I see the one odd miscue few here and there. This is one that I will want to take a good look when he's out there on the track scoring down.
And we will take a good look for that. That's later on in race 4. Race 5 this afternoon, that's our only change for just tuning in or just joining us on track. Scratch the one Mimi's Money. So we're down to a field of 7. Dave Brower, I must admit, I do the morning line here before we get driver selection. So occasionally a driver will completely throw me a curveball. That is what has happened here. So I think I'm going to be a bit high on our top selection here, at least in terms of the morning line, because it's a 7 Divine Equine. Yannick Gingras' choice over numbers 2 and 4. Did that choice surprise you as well?
No, actually it didn't, because I have a feeling that Divine Equine is meant to be a very good horse, and we might find that out today. Nancy Johansson's having a wonderful year as well, both here and north of the border here. Now, I did not witness the break behind the gate last time when Christian Lynn was driving here, but you know, when you get to switch back to Yannick for the first time off a horse that qualified well here and started here at the Red Mile, you know, there's something in the tank here, and hopefully whatever adjustments Nancy might make will do the trick. Little break with the scratch of the 1, so we move in a slot.
Yeah, the break it happened right at the start of the race. It seemed as Divine Equine started to leave the gate there in her pari-mutuel debut. So we'll see what we get there today. Again, you obviously. We both put a lot of confidence in Yannick's selection because this horse is a bit of an unknown on paper, but we'll see how she fires back today.
And good job with the disclaimer on the morning line. You got it out in advance.
we don't need any flack
No,
for that.
No.
But that's okay. If you'd like to rough me up over that one will be well noted. But we'll see what type of price she does get off there in race number 5. 6th race kicks off at $10,000 guaranteed pick 4. We've got a bit of a wide open event here. It's a late closing event. The Bedroom Confessions at Iron Tough mare Dave, who made well over $1 million in her career. It's her namesake going to post here in the 6th. So we've got some very talented 2-year-old pacing fillies. We've got the favorite here, the 4 Fashion Hill. She's been beaten as a favorite in her last couple of starts for trainer Chris Oakes. That may spell a bit of vulnerability here this afternoon to kick off this pick 4, and I believe you think the same way.
Yeah, this was one of the toughest races of the day because there's horses coming in from everywhere, Gabe, and that makes it a little bit more difficult to handicap. Fashion Hill comes in from, you know, a lot of small track racing. Vernon Downs the last couple, but this is a daughter of American Ideal for Chris Oakes, and going to get Brian Sears in the bike tonight, so you know he has his fans, the bettors out there. But you could go in a number of different directions. You talked about driver choices before. Dexter Dunn had one to make in here, and he opted for Real Long Hanover, and I don't blame him, for the Alanya Armada, so to speak. Real Long Hanover, a filly that's just seems to be getting the stride of things. She was in that Stallion series in Pennsylvania. You know, it's good, you know, good ground saving, good experience building kind of a series there. Got a couple of weeks off, qualified exceptionally well over the strip here in Lexington, so I'm not even worried about the outside post. We're going to trust Dexter Dunn on that one, and you thought the same way.
I did. I really like the qualifier. I think, as you mentioned, she's trending in the right direction. Lots of upside potential here. Do want to give a shout out to the 6 Shining Beauty. You just can't find a filly that's better bred than this, Dave. A daughter of Captain Treacherous. She is from that great American Ideal mare, American Jewel. What a pedigree.
You can't get any better than that. Of course, the captain's assuming the lead, I guess you could say, in the Stallion registries for the 2-year-olds racing so far this season. So we'll talk to owner and breeder George Siegel a little bit later on. We'll bring up this filly. He's racing, I think, 7 horses today. So he's going to be a busy guy. He's going to be doing some trophy presentations, and he's got to sit next and talk to me.
Well, George is also a very good handicapper as well. So we'd like to get his thoughts, of course, on any of these horses racing this afternoon. So we'll both start with a decently long price to kick off the pick 4, Real Long Hanover for Dave and I in race number 6. On to the 7th race, late closing event here for the 2-year-old filly Trotters. Dave, I must admit, I was very impressed with the one Queen Trick. She broke stride here 2 starts back. Last time, handled conservatively off that break, but she was loaded with late trot, finished up very well, threading through horses late for driver Pete Wren. I was ultra impressed with Queen Tricks. I like her back in this spot, and I think we're going to get a more aggressive effort here today.
You think you're going to get the price, though? That might be the key as to whether you want to bet there. There's a little bit of a risk involved there. I have the ultimate respect for Pete and Melanie Wren. They had a couple nice trotters go in Delaware, Ohio, and now they're here with a few of the others here. Again, you know, this might be the second toughest race of the day here. These trotting fillies as well, a number of different ways you could go. I ended up with Graceful Lady. I think she's just been green. Here we go with trainer Jim Campbell again. This one for owners Jeff Snyder and the Four Friends Racing Stable. A daughter of Father Patrick out of a Yankee Glide mare, so that's a nice high-level pedigree. And, oh, she only cost $300,000 to bring home from the Harrisburg sale, though. improving, getting better, probably still green, but I like the way she finished that last start at Pocono, and I think she will stretch out over the mile track here. Looking for a little bit of a price there, too. We'll see what we get.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. She was beaten at a short price. That concerned me just a bit in her last start at Pocono, but we'll see. She does have a license to improve lightly raced filly. We'll move on now to the late double stakes action to close out the card. Races 8 and 9, so you're going to want to stick around with us all day. How do you beat the 2 Capricornus in race 8?
You don't. It's written right in the program under your selections. Lock of the day, and I have no argument whatsoever. Capricornus has just been a sensational colt. Again, Marcus Melander with a barn full of good horses here. Extremely good in that well-weight elimination, a rally from an impossible spot in the final there. Inside post, again, very, very talented horse for Tim Tetrick, the newest member of the Hall of Fame.
Okay, and we will move on now to the 9th race to close it out here on opening day. Super high five wager. We get the finale of each and every card. That's not a jackpot bet, so keep that in mind. No carryover this afternoon. We start fresh. Here's another colt that's just getting better and better with every appearance. Stage 6 ready for money. Kentucky Sire Stakes champion. Other than the break in stride here when he was 5 cents on the dollar, he's been absolutely perfect.
Almost perfect. Another son of Ready Cash here. And here's Perang Blum. We're going to mention his name for the first time today, and hopefully throughout the broadcast, out on his own, of course, after being an assistant in the Tactor stable for so long. He's got a barn full of good horses, and Ready for Money is definitely one of them there. Outside post doesn't matter. I think there are a couple other talented colts in there as well, including Rome Pays Off for the Melander team as well. But it's just a matter of which way you want to play gimmicks. I guess that late double is not going to pay very much, is it?
No, it doesn't look like it. If we're right there, that could be an over-under of about $6. It looks like on that double to close out opening day here of Grand Circuit action at the Red Mile. David, it's an absolute pleasure to have you in town. We're looking so forward to the next couple of weeks. We've got great racing action, of course, Selection and Select yearling sale coming up. Plenty going on here in Lexington.
Yes, we do. We'll be busy over the next couple of weeks, along with all the horsemen and fans and bettors. And we just say thank you for tuning in wherever you are, whether it be at your local simulcast location, whether you're with us here in Lexington, Kentucky, on your phone, or through RTN on the video. So thanks for tuning in. We hope you'll be with us, and we hope we keep you entertained and give you lots of good racing action and commentary.
And if you are on track, stop in and say hello to us over the next couple of weeks as well. Best of luck here on this Thursday afternoon. Horses on the track for the opener coming up shortly.